Illinois election officials say they expect a record number of registrations. Nationwide, leaders say Muslim Americans are one of the groups registering in unprecedented numbers this year, up to 300,000 new voters, and many of them in the swing states. Locally, an energetic grassroots drive began months ago at mosques, community centers, and taxi stands. Chicago Public Radio's Lynette Kalsness has more.
Yasser Tabara, who heads the Council on American Islamic Relations in Chicago, says this is a historic moment for Muslims to prove they are a political force.
We are Americans. We're registered to vote. We vote, and we vote according to our issues, and you need to listen to us.
First hour, we were talking about the Pentagon defending a general who said shooting insurgents is fun. We actually now have from CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations of Chicago. Ahmed Rehab is the Director of Communications, and he is called into the show. So we'll continue taking your phone calls on it, 312-591-8900. If you're just tuning in and did not hear the first hour, there is Lieutenant General James Mattis, apparently was counseled over remarks by General Michael Hagee, said the Marines. And his comments were, quote, "It's actually a lot of fun to fight. You know, it's a hell of a hoot. I like brawling. You go into Afghanistan, you got guys who slap women around for 5 years because they didn't wear a veil. You know, guys like that ain't got no manhood left anyway, so it's a hell of a lot of fun to shoot them." So let's get the inside story and find out how CAIR is thinking on this. And good to have him. Ahmed Rehab, who is the Director of Communications for CAIR, joins us here on News Talk 890 WLS. Welcome.
Good morning, Eileen.
All right, tell us, give me your perspective on what this Marine general has said.
Well, you know, we don't have any issue with a general partaking in the defense of his country, as generals are supposed to do. The issue that we have is in the language that is used that casts all Americans in a bad light. You know, killing is never fun. Taking human life is never fun. It may be necessary at times, such as in the times of war or the times that we're facing. But to say that it's fun, you know, even if in a civil society, even if you have a criminal that is a serial killer, when it comes about time to take the life of that person, we do so with a heavy heart, and we don't say that it is fun.
If it's shoot or be shot, doesn't this general have the right to shoot these guys?
Yes, he does.
This is war.
That's not what he said.
All right.
That's not what he said. What he said was, in light of these people treating the women badly for 5 years or whatever, it is fun shooting them. Now, this is a very general statement, and he put himself in the quagmire. I'm not putting him there. His language is the problem. Perhaps his actions weren't. Perhaps he acted properly. But the language that he's using is what we're objecting to and what we're requiring or asking the Pentagon to discipline him on.
All right, I want to follow up on that, but I do want to ask you this. What do you think should happen to this Marine general?
Well, you know, that is up to the Pentagon to decide, but I would like the Pentagon to make an example out of this kind of talk so that we are later not, you know, seen as a country that is running around the world and just, you know, having fun killing people. You know, I care for the image of America as an American, and I would like the Pentagon to do whatever it takes to preserve a good image of America abroad. Now, secondly, I want quickly to mention, you and many of your callers have been talking about, you know, where have the Muslims been?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Right.
What has CAIR done?
Yeah.
Well, you know, if perhaps you haven't heard of what CAIR has done, it doesn't mean that CAIR didn't do anything. It could mean that you simply didn't hear about it. And that may be your problem for not doing enough research.
No, no, I don't think that at all.
Are you aware that CAIR, within 24 hours of 9/11, was one of the first organizations in America to publicly condemn 9/11? And I have to say that those men, you know, in Afghanistan or elsewhere, they're slapping their wives for not wearing a veil.
Yeah.
They're definitely not acting in the name of Islam. They're actually acting against the teachings of Islam. And as such, as an observant Muslim, I take a strong position against what they're doing, and it upsets me deeply.
How about beheadings, decapitation of innocent people? What, and you say nothing about that, but you will talk about words that come out of a general's mouth that are not going to hurt anyone. I can't, but I'm almost out of control right now.
Well, control yourself, and I can tell you why you should control yourself, because if you go visit
my control. Now, you have said nothing. You're not enraged about any decapitation where people's heads are swiped and shown all over the airwaves. That's you.
Your information is not factual.
Let him talk.
It's not based on reality. You need to go visit the website and see and learn that CAIR-Chicago, as representative of the Muslim American community in Chicago, and CAIR National, as representative of the Muslim community across the United States, has condemned every single act of beheading in Iraq in a timely manner. So you're coming on the air and telling me that you're upset because it isn't happening when it is happening.
Hello, my name is Dan, and I was just listening to talk radio in Chicago, and I heard Ahmed, your communications director, in a conversation with Eileen on WLS, and I just wanted to say that I appreciated everything that Ahmed said, and that I understood everything he was saying. He communicated extremely well, and I was sort of embarrassed and disappointed at the bashing that he got. I don't think people were listening. I just wanted to congratulate him for keeping a cool head. Continue to do as you're doing, and the truth will prevail. So keep going. Thanks.